Hey guys, and welcome to my channel in the new year 2016. First of all, Happy New Year 2016 to you. Hope you had some nice holidays, because I did. And now we're gonna start right away. Today I'm going to show you uh, another GTA 5 video, as you can see. And what I want to do today is show you around my garage, showing you my cars, and in the upcoming days I'm gonna be doing some more GTA 5 videos and GTA Online videos, so you should definitely stay tuned so you won't miss out on those. And now we're gonna start with this garage tour. So here you can see um, one of my first cars that I've bought. It's the Benefactor Schwarzer. Um, it is a nice car, obviously inspired by Mercedes cars, and has some very nice customizable options on this one. This is the interior. A nice engine sound, yeah. And it's available in free mode, but I think you can also buy this on San Andreas, Southern San Andreas Autos, I think it is. And yeah, very nice car, very nice options to customize. And if you're a fan of Mercedes cars, I can highly recommend this to you. And here we have the Pegassi Waka, which is inspired by different Lamborghini cars, most likely the Lamborghini Gallardo. In the back it looks a little bit like a McLaren. This was my first supercar I bought for around 250,000. Let's check out the interior. As you can see, I made the paint job matching to the dials, which are also colored in orange. You have a lot of carbon here, so yeah, it's definitely a real supercar for a fair price, and you have a few options to customize this as well. But I decided to keep it with a clean and standard look. And let's keep going. So this is the Ocelot F620, which is inspired by the Jaguar XKR and the Maserati Gran Turismo. So I decided to do a blue metallic paint job on this one, and also keep it very clean and standard. Now there are also a few options to customize this. Not as much as on some other cars, but you have what's really necessary. Of course, you have all the performance parts. Sorry. Yeah, of course you have all the performance parts, and you have a standard black leather interior with blue stitching, so they also match the paint job. And this is also available in free mode and also customizable. And let's move on to the next one. So this is the Benefactor Cyrano, which is inspired by the Mercedes SLS, and a little bit like some other sports cars, but mostly it's inspired by the Mercedes SLS, which is also a roadster like this one here. Yeah, once again I decided to do a clean and standard look of this. And yeah, this was also one of my first cars that I bought, because I'm also a huge fan of Mercedes cars. Nothing special in here, but it has a very nice and clean look. And I'm not sure how much this cost, but it was also around 200,000 on Legendary Motorsports. And let's move on to the next one. Now, pretty early when I started GTA Online, I decided that I really want to have a SUV as well, not only some sports cars. So I decided to pick the Jellywenter Baller in the second generation version. And you can obviously see that it's inspired by the Range Rover cars. Yeah, not much to show you around here. Unfortunately, there are not so much options to customize this one. So I decided to do a standard clean look here as well. And let's move on to the Vapid Dominator, which is inspired and adapted to the Ford Mustang GT, of course. And here are a lot of options to customize this one, and I decided to make it look very aggressive and fast, so I did the matte black with the matte red on this one. As you can hear, it has a very nice, powerful V8 that is roaring, and yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about this. I can really recommend this if you're into muscle cars. I'm not that much a muscle car guy, but I have to admit that the Vapid Dominator is definitely a must-have. Let's keep moving. Now this is the Ennis Allergy RH8. It's also another must-have car that you should definitely get. This was available right from the start from GTA Online. And yeah, it's obviously inspired by the Nissan GTR. And on this one I decided to make it look very fast and like a real performance race car, so I did all these carbon options on this one and everything that could be in here. Sorry about that. And yeah, it's a really fast car, racing car. Definitely the best sports car that you can get, and I can also highly recommend this to you. As you can also see, there are a lot of customizable things on this one. You have a lot of options. And let's keep going to this one. Now this is the Blifter, the beach buggy. Also very good for some off-road driving. And I decided to pick some bright colors for this, because it's just a small, very funny looking car you can have a lot of fun with. And a few customize options are on this one as well, but not so many, but it's still good. Yeah, so definitely a good choice if you want a off-road car for a cheap price that has all the delete this real quick. That has all what it takes to have a good off-road car for different purposes. And let's move on to the next one. This one is the Karen Futo, inspired by 90s and 80s Japanese cars, or so-called JDM cars. If you're a real car guy, you know what this is all about. That's a drift performance car, very nice, very good looking, and the best car you can get if you're all about drifting and all that street racing stuff. So I made it look like the Toyota AE86, because it's definitely adapted to this, as you can see here. So I really wanted to make it look like this, except for the huge wing. That is just for the better traction, and cornering can be very aggressive. This thing, it doesn't look like it's a sports car, but it is a sports car, and I can really recommend this to you if you wanna show some nice drifts. And a lot of customizable options on this one, as you can see. And let's move on to my first motorcycle, the Dinka Double T. The reason why I decided to pick this one, because it looks very nice, especially in this red color, and I'm not pretty sure, but I think it's inspired by the Ducati 999 racing version, I think, but I'm not sure about this. I'm not that much an expert in bike racing, as you can see in my Drive Club Bikes videos, but I really wanted to have a motorcycle, so I decided to go with this one. And yeah, over here I have a mountain bike hanging around, but that doesn't really matter. And yeah, that's everything for this garage. I'm gonna do a little cut, and then I'll see you right next when I'm at my next garage. So here we are at my next apartment and my next garage. Let's get right into it. Yeah, so here we have it. I'm gonna start in the back this time. Yeah, first of all, this very funny looking bike is the Pegassi Faggio. Where the reason why I decided to buy this is just because it looks so funny, and you can always surprise other players when you pull up on this thing on a bike race, and they all can have a good laugh on this one. Especially with this horn. And yeah, customizable options, as you can see, not many of those. You can change the seat and the color, put in all performance parts as usual, and yeah, of course it's inspired by the Italian Vespa bike, or scooter I should say. Yeah, that's everything I could say about this one. And here we have the Karin Sultan. I decided to change it to the Sultan RS with the roll cage and carbon hood and everything. You can obviously see that this one is inspired by the Subaru Impreza, and so I decided to make it look like the Impreza rally car. As you can see, I did my best on this, but GTA doesn't give you options to customize it exactly like this, but it's good enough, I think. I mean, if you know the Subaru Impreza rally car, then you know from the first look that this is supposed to be look like this. We have the roll cage in here, everything like I said. And of course you have a lot of customizable options on this ride. Starting with the body kit and everything. And yeah, that's everything for this one. Let's keep going with this. That's the OB9F convertible. Yeah, it's easy to recognize that this is supposed to be the Audi R8 Roadster. So I decided to apply the matte white on this one to make it look like the real Audi R8, because I'm a car guy, all about cars, like I already said, and I like to have the cars in the looks of their original versions. A few customized options on this one, not so many, but I don't think that it needs a lot of options. And that's everything for it. One more thing, um, it's also available online, not in the free mode. It's driving around in the free mode, but you can customize them because you have to purchase this on Legendary Motorsports, I think. Available for about 250,000, but that's okay. So let's move on to the next one. This is the Karin Kuruma in the standard version. For every car guy, it's easy to see that this is supposed to be a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. Very nice car, very good looking. I decided to put on the Torino red to make it look like a real Lancer. Like I said, I like to have my cars look like the original cars. But sometimes I just want to go crazy on cars. We will see those examples very soon. But this one is a very nice option. Some very nice customizable options. You will see later that I also have the armored version, which is also very handy. But if you're just about having the original car, you can definitely go for this one. Yeah. And move on to the next. This is the Vapid Bullet, inspired by the Ford GT, which is also very easy to see. And what I did here was a silver metallic paint job with the laser blue pearlescent and the blue stripe on it. Looks kind of like the standard version, but I really wanted to pop things out and go a little step further because I think this paint job looks very nice. Really fits this car, but as always, it's a matter of taste. I'm sure you have your own opinions on this one, but I do like it, and yeah, here we have a few options to customize this one as well. Not so many, but more than enough. And you can make a very good looking car out of this, even though it already looks very nice in the standard version. And it's actually a supercar for a fair price of about 150,000, I think. I'm gonna check real quick. Here we have the new ones. Let's see. Ah, there it is. Oh yeah, almost. I was almost right. So $155,000 for a great supercar. That's a fair deal. You can't go wrong with this if you would decide to pick this one as your first supercar. If you just started GTA Online and you want to have a supercar, pick the Vapid Bullet. Can't go wrong with this. So let's move on to the next one. The Anos Huntley S, another SUV. Um, yeah, why I bought this was very obvious. It's just a amazing and so good looking car that you can't go wrong with this one. It has a few options to customize. For example, the grille and the hood. Also some body kit modifications are available, but it already looks very good in standard version. Of course you gotta keep it standard, and standard cars can also look very great. And this is just such a good looking car. If you ever see this one, you would be totally impressed. So I really wanted to have this one. It has such a impressing look and everything, and if you want to have a nice SUV, I can recommend this one. Um, yeah. Although it's not very cheap, but it's the best looking SUV in this game by far. So yeah, that's why I decided to pick this one. And here we have something where I decided to put on absolutely ridiculous aggressive look on this small car. Is the Benefactor Panto. Everyone should know this car by now. Um, the original car is the Smart, which is actually a car company owned by Mercedes. That's why it's called Benefactor in here as well. And yeah, it's a small, very overpowered car with a ridiculously aggressive look. And yeah, now it may not be very good looking, but that's intended. I know it's ridiculous, but I wanted to let it look like this, especially with the secondary color in chrome. And yeah, well, there's not much that you can do with this car, but it's just funny to have this one. So let's move on to the next one. This is the Ineos Kano Shanty. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's a very, very nice car. I think it was available with the ill-gotten gains. You can also have this one with some designer livery on it. But I'd like to keep it standard, just like the OB9F convertible. I did the matte white on this one as well. Now, as you can see, it's a very nice, powerful car. It's not very fast, but it's definitely good looking. Inspired by some newer models of Bentley, I think. But I'm not really sure about that, so yeah, can't say for sure. But you can get this on Legendary Motorsports for a fair price. I'm not sure how much, but you can have a real luxury car for a fair price. And let's move on to the next motorcycle. It's the Dinka Thrust. one of the most expensive motorcycles that you can have, and it's so expensive for a fair reason because it's just so incredibly good, um, with this amazing handling, very nice traction and everything. The acceleration is unbeatable, and of course the top speed um, is definitely up to most of the supercars in here, so you can definitely compete in a race with this one if you're driving against, for example, the Graudi Turismo R. Now here you can see it. Um, I'm not sure about this on which car it should be inspired to, but could be the Koenigsegg Agera, but I'm definitely not sure about this. So here I decided to apply the brushed gold paint job and a secondary color, the chrome. Well, it's a matter of taste again, but I think it looks good. I mean, if you have a ridiculous car, you can put on some very outstanding paint jobs. And of course it has an amazing, very awesome engine sound, which is actually the only reason why I decided to buy this car, because of the great engine sound. You have a few options to customize this one, but you can also leave it in a clean standard look, and you don't have to pick this choice for the paint job, of course. It's available on Legendary Motorsports for around 500,000, I think. And yeah, well, actually there's no real reason to buy especially this one. And yeah, well, it depends on if you like this or not. It's not really my favorite, but it's quite okay. So yeah, that's everything I can say about this one, I think. And I'm gonna move on to the next garage, so see you then.